Well, build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance that's bit in his eye. Well, he gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and a long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I dry my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober as good.
Hello everybody, welcome to Quick Bang. This is episode 4. We've just beat Aberdeen 2-0, so we've got a bunch of happy Hibs with us tonight. I'm going to start proceedings by turning to my Longbangers colleague John, who's got on here. John, you're first up then. Tell us your thoughts on the game.
Brilliant, just absolutely outstanding. I think some of the things that I've been talking about for quite a few weeks now came to fruition in terms of Hibs beating Aberdeen. We've taken advantage or kind of nullified their advantage of having that game in hand over us. Livingston got beat as well, so that gives us a wee bit of breathing room, and we're starting to look ahead of us rather than concentrating on things that haven't happened, things that might happen. You know, so I think one of the concerns today was about Canberra coming back to haunt us, but then he got held up in fucking Geneva or something. Good, with dodgy Toblerones in his carry-on. So I just honestly so happy. I never had any concerns about, you know, no being clinical in front of goal, because I think the football gods were maybe shining on us a wee bit. So Cadden's gone through after the boys gone down. He's been an early substitution, and then Aberdeen have subbed that boy off later in the game. I think the football gods, like I say, were just sympathetic towards us today.
Smiling on us. And Kaiser Soze, what were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was a really good game. I thought the first half performance was outstanding. I've seen a lot of quality through the ranks. I thought, just going through them, Cadden played brilliant, unlucky not to score. Irvin, Gogic was amazing. We just played amazing in the first half compared to through the week's first half performance. It was just night and day difference. A lot of quality there, and to be fair, we should have been about 3-0 up before we went in it first time. If it wasn't for big super hands Joe Lewis, we would have done well. We would have been up.
I tell you, it was the super hands through the weekend. Did you see the goal he chucked in against Livingston? I was praying on him doing one like that for against us. Ryan, what were your talking points for the game, mate?
Brilliant, aye. You know, set off the back now. Jack Ross's got his first big win, so hopefully they'll flood in after that. I think first half, excellent, just mirroring what Isa said. You know, I tweeted the other day saying it's the same week in, week out. Rubbish first half, come out second half, we're flying. But I'd say over the 90 minutes, we battered them. So more of the same.
And the 2-0 flattered Aberdeen, I thought. Raymond, what was your take on the game, and what was different about Hibs Aberdeen this time compared to last time we played them?
We were solid. We were better organised. I think as McManus touched on in the commentary, there's other players sitting on that bench waiting to come on. Keeps you on your toes. There was a definite positivity to the team, which we've not seen quite as much. And I think that a lot of that comes for Jackson Irvine, because when he gets the ball, he wants to be positive. He wants to play the ball forward. He always looks to attack. We've had far too many players in the midfield who look to play sideways, look to play an easy ball back to the centre half to just slowly advance the ball, whereas he's looking to try and split defences. That and Gogic sitting behind him was outstanding. To me, Gogic was my man of the match because he did all that horrible shit he worked so well. It went unnoticed virtually.
I thought his booking was harsh as anything as well. I thought he played the ball and
he's left his studs on the boy. I know they've both gone for the ball. He's left his studs on the ball on the boy. If he's booked for that, then the penalty that Hibs got, the Aberdeen players should be getting yellow carded as well. But I'll take the penalty over a yellow card, and there you go.
Aye. Tracy, what were your thoughts on the game?
Unmute myself. Absolutely fantastic performance. I think the fact that we had the 2 wins on the bounce, I think that's really boosted confidence. And you could see that mentally the players were prepared for it. Because I think sometimes, you know, if we lose a goal as well, you know, the heads kind of go down. It's kind of like that, the belief's gone. But obviously we got the first goal. Apparently Martin Boyle's little girl had said that her daddy was going to get 3 goals today. So I really think she should be doing the predictions every week.
Well, he's let her do that now.
I know, he's let her down with 1 goal. But no, I just thought they were absolutely fantastic. Daz was outstanding again today. I think he's been fantastic. Obviously the ball for Lewis for the second goal as well. You know, all these players that people have been talking about in the previous week, saying that they're past it, shouldn't be given new contracts, but that exactly the people that we need around the club, they've all got a part to play, not necessarily a full 90 minutes, but they've all got a part to play. And I think people, they know exactly what it means to pull on that shirt. And I just think, you know, they've been outstanding as well. But it was a really good all-round team performance. I echo as well about Gogic. I think he's been fantastic, because we've had quite a lot of physical games as well, and I think he deals with them excellent. And he's absolutely brilliant. I love him. I think he's been a great addition this season as well. And Jackson as well, as I said last week, he's just slotted in like he's been there forever.
I hope his injury's not a bad one, Jackson's. It
No,
looked like he had a really bad fall on it.
Yeah.
Jamie, I'll come to you next. How did you feel after that one?
Just echoing what everybody's saying, a brilliant performance. I was speaking to friends earlier on in terms of how I thought we would get on against Aberdeen, and since we bolstered our midfield, I thought we would do pretty well. I must admit, I thought the game would probably end up being a draw, but we were just too powerful in midfield. Everything we'd done in midfield won us that game today. We're good going forward, we're good defensively, but the strike force was decent in their movement, and also the defence. And saying about McGregor, listen, I think everybody knew that any of these players that are going to come in, your Stevensons, your McGregors, even Gray, come in, are going to do a job. And, you know, I can understand why people are saying, well, if you're not going to play them, what's the point in them sitting on the bench? Well, that kind of proves that what they're still got their worth. But today, I seen your tweet, Matty, in regards to what McInnes would blame in the pitch. The pitch is for both players, both sets of players. And we just seem to be, today, just on our game, every part of the pitch. We fought, we won, we moved the ball well. And by the way, they were lucky not to get an absolute doing today, because we were by far the better team. The only chance I can remember them having was that one we had. The header off, I think it was McGinn's shoulder onto the bar. That's really the only chance. I was never felt under any pressure. Well done, Jack Ross. And if this is the so-called first win against the big teams, then I hope it continues, because I think that's a bit of a myth that kind of did the big games. So listen, brilliant, excellent performance today. I'm absolutely delighted with Hibs.
Gavin,
Jamie, I've got just a wee quick question, if that's all right.
All right.
Sorry, interrupt, Matty. I think you mentioned Hibs midfield there, and Hibs came in for a bit of stick before about not having signed McGeoch when he was available, not having signed McCrory, or whatever happened with McCrory. Did you see anything for those players today that you would have had in midfield?
I thought McCrory had a decent first half, to be honest. I was kind of keeping an eye on him and what was going on. Because Aberdeen have lost a few players, their kind of dimension and their shape's kind of been lost a bit. But I thought he had a decent game. In terms of McGeoch, well, we've not really lost anything in that department as far as I'm concerned. But pre the signing of Jackson Irvine and Cadden, I probably would have said I would have taken McGeoch in terms to give us that bit of in midfield that can play a through ball and a bit of vision. But if we can sign Jackson Irvine on a long-term contract, I tell you what a signing that would be. That lad is absolutely outstanding.
Gav, we'll come to you just now. What was your take? So I'm going to ask you about Martin Boyle playing up front. Jack Ross deserves credit for that decision.
Sprung that on me.
I know.
It's hotly contested. I think his record as a striker is pretty good. I think his goal return sort of speaks for itself. People, I think, have some criticisms about his overall game, whether he can play up front, but if he performs like that every time he plays as a striker, then absolutely yes. Because I think Cadden brings us something different on the right. When Boyle goes up front, it allows Cadden to be a bit more industrious. He didn't have his best game today, Cadden. I think he's been excellent since he's come in, but it didn't really come off for him in the attacking sense today. But I think he did a power of work, and I think his physical presence, the kind of engine he's got, really helped us sort of nullify that Aberdeen midfield, which we sort of usually struggle against.
Yeah.
And generally, I'm a bit of an optimist or a happy clapper, depends who you ask. But I thought we'd lose today. I thought everything was set up for us to like absolutely shite our pants as we usually do against Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Because they were missing players, they're bang off form. We're playing at home, which hasn't helped us recently. So that all kind of indicated, we should be winning this game, but we're gonna find a way to shite ourselves. But we didn't. And the thing that surprised me throughout the game is we were comfortable. We never really looked threatened, and I think we were well worth a victory and probably worth a few more goals as well.
A nice one, Charlie. Hibs history with Aberdeen. Certainly Aberdeen seem to be a team that carry a lot of luck against us. How nervous were you for the last 10-15 minutes of the game, or were you quite comfortable we were going to see it out?
I felt like once we got the second goal, I was confident we'd see it out, and I think even with the chance to hit the bar, usually I'd be like, oh no, they're about to score. But I felt confident. I wasn't confident going into it. I put Aberdeen on my bet today, so I'm glad the bet got beat. But I'm very happy with the performance.
And what did you think was key for it?
Jackson Irvine, really. I think the way he controls the ball midfield along with Gogic, just fantastic together. Really missed them. Really missed Scott Allen. So having Jackson to fit in and just play the key passes is what we've missed.
He was played a really big part in the win today. Ewan, you've mentioned Jack Ross in big games before. I'm not digging you out here. Just how are you feeling about it now?
I mean, I've asked loads of questions, and I've been quite vocal when 10 sheets to the wind about what I think of Jack Ross in big games. But I mean, the League Cup semi-final is a massive disappointment, and the only way that you're going to get over that is by winning games and winning big games, as you want to say. And we've just went and won 3 games in a week, 2 of them away from home and at home at Aberdeen, and nobody can ask anymore, I don't think, from a Hibs team. I think the way we're setting up just now, full of pace and legs in the team, really lets Hibs play at a tempo that suits us. That for me, we just had far too much for Aberdeen today. We moved the ball quickly. We had quality in the final third. Really similar to the Dundee United game, I thought, because we seen that we still had Murphy and Boyle really free. They were sort of moving about all over the place, and Josh Doig sort of dealt with the left hand side himself. But no, really, really impressed, and I think all credit to Jack Ross, because sort of watching that game, I didn't know what formation I was played today. Sort of looked 4-4-2, sort of looked 3-5-2. So whatever they've worked on in training, and to get the 3 points today, it worked superbly well, and I'm very much happy to eat some humble pie on that one.
To be fair, and this is why I say I wasn't digging you out. We kind of mentioned it before, and Jack Ross's record in big games was open to criticism. And it's one of these things that we said, the only way you turn that around is by winning them. So today's his sort of first step towards that. Jamie, you've got your hand up, so I'll come to you before I move on to Andy and Leon.
I just, because this is the first time someone's been come out and said about the not going in big games, I just wanted to ask you and this thing. So prior to the last 3 games, which we've won, and Jack Ross was taking a bit of a hit, especially on social media, in reality, in your head, at that point, what would you have done? Would you have sacked him, moved him on, or where would you have kind of been? Because I'm always curious in terms of, especially other fans, is how a club like Hibs can continually move managers on when there's small blips in the season, and how that kind of manifests itself, especially on social media.
You want to take that?
Without shamelessly plugging Down the Slope follows on Spotify and that, but I'll be totally honest. The Hearts game, the Hearts semi-final, I was very much like, it's far too early into his tenure and stuff like that. But I'll be honest, the League Cup semi-final felt like the final straw for me. I don't support sacking managers after a year, 18 months. Like, managers need time to build. But for me, the League Cup semi-final was like, it was an accumulation of utter shite that we'd watched throughout December, to be honest with you. The Livy games and the Ross County games hurt a lot. But that's why I'm not a chairman of Hibs. That's why I'm I'm a fan that I just want Hibs to do well. And I said that by the time we even had calmed down, like I said, like we obviously recorded our podcast and whatnot. After the League Cup semi-final, I said that at the end of the day, no matter what, I want Hibs to do well. And while whoever's in charge of Hibs, whether it be Craig Levine, I want them to do well. So at the time, I would have wanted Jack Ross to go, and I hadn't seen anything in a game against Rangers, Celtic, Aberdeen, even Motherwell. I know we played really well against them away from home, but at home early in the season, like the home form was a worry. But yeah, I think we've done in the last week and today shown that he has, I guess, the tactical and everything like that. And yeah, like I say, big cream pie in my face, to be fair.
So you wouldn't sack him now then?
No, absolutely no. I mean, at the end of the day, like,
I'm just curious. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Far from it. I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, I said at the time that if we sacked him at the time, Hibs would probably get berated in the media and there would be a lot of questions asked it and stuff. But I just felt that there was really, I just couldn't see signs of progress. I know if you looked at, for me, the season was starting to dwindle. We were mulling along with what it looks stupid now, but I felt like we would finish fourth and the season would just be left with a big question mark over it and stuff like that. But no, I mean, I wouldn't be sacking them now. And I just think we're very well positioned.
Right. Well,
good point, Shane. I'm just sorry. Good point, Shane. I was very curious about that. Thanks very much.
I'm just going to move on. I've got John Mearhan. I'll come to you in a second, John. Raymond first. Raymond, what do you want to say there?
No, just to follow up on that, I'm interested. See, folk talking about Ross going and all that. I bet if you looked at the demographic of people who wanted Ross out and those who were happy for him to stay, there's a huge difference in ages. And I'll wager anyone under the age of 30 probably wants rid of him. Anyone over the age of about 30 to 40 in the middle and above 50, you're going to keep him. Because what happens when you get to be an old bastard and you watch for Hibs for fucking long enough, you work out that jumping in and with 2 feet into managerial decisions is not the correct decision.
Aye.
You've got to give the man a chance, and it really is simple as that. And I firmly believe that if you looked at the demographic, it would be all the young'uns would all be wanting rid of him, and the older boys would be saying, "Fuck's sake, give the man a chance."
Right, John. I'm going to come to you, and then I've got Andy and Leon to hear from. So, John, if you come in quickly.
I just want to ask Jamie if he's drinking an espresso martini.
I'm not drinking an espresso martini. It is kind of like it, but it's got Bailey's coffee and something else in it. Vodka.
Let's get on it. Right, Andy. Thanks for sitting patiently. How are you feeling after the game?
So it's a convincing win, a statement win, as I would say, for Jack Ross and the Hibs players, because they've been under some criticism, a lot of it from Marcel and social media as well. But it was just fantastic the way they went about the game right from the start. Jamie Murphy's vision is absolutely a joy to watch, and Joe Lewis was making saves that he only seems to make against Hibs. I never see him making saves against anybody else in the same manner. But it was a fine performance with a good 3 points at the end of it.
I say Joe Lewis got quite a funny shaped head. I don't know if anybody's noticed that. It's like we were talking. Who was it, John? We were talking about had a head too big for their body. St Johnstone goalkeeper.
No, we said that his beard was too big for his face.
Right. Joe Lewis's head looks like it's too small for his body. That was my take on his performance today. A couple of good saves, and I thought he's got a beard as well. So I don't know if the beard's significant.
I was going to say it's maybe a wee bit too harsh, and I don't know if anyone here will remember, but the Mario film for years and years ago when you had the Goombas, like big bodies and tiny wee tennis ball heads. I know, like I think I've said in the podcast before that I think Joe Lewis is a really, really good keeper, and he's save for Cadden. In the first couple of minutes, I don't think it was anything necessarily that Cadden's done wrong. It's just that Joe Lewis is.
Cadden should have moved it on his left foot.
No, I completely agree with you, John. Great save.
Joe Lewis, stuck it in the back of the net is what he should have done with it.
Like we didn't get to see him
his left foot and tapped it in.
We didn't get to see him week to week. You've obviously mentioned that he's had a wee bit of a shocker midweek there, but anytime I've seen him at Easter Road, he's often been the difference between us getting the result and not.
Definitely.
So the fact that the penalty aside, Boilers' finish for the second was phenomenal as well. It beat them.
Leon, thank you. You've waited nicely and patiently for your turn. Has anybody said anything that you haven't covered or you want to cover?
No, everybody's been absolutely spot on. Tracy was bang on about the older guard that are coming in when needed, and guys like McGregor that's just came in, taking the pressure off Pochis and Hanlon, who were getting absolutely hammered for weeks and weeks, and just steadied the ship that wee bit. Boyle's covered us for striker positions that everybody was moaning about, because everybody was wanting Aberdeen strikers in, but they're shite. So, it was excellent. Get 3 points, massive win, a win in a big game for Jack Ross. So, not much to talk about, unless it's positivity.
Doesn't have to set you up for a good weekend, right? I'll just, as we're coming to the end of the time, I'm just going to go around the screen here and get a prediction on where you think we'll finish for the end of the season, and a brief summary of why you feel that way as well. So, Ryan, you're on my top left, so start you and then work clockwise around. How do you think we're finishing up the season, Ryan, and why?
I think it would be daft to say that we're not going to finish third after today's result. Here's a wee bit breathing room over Aberdeen, Livingston losing as well. So I'd probably say third for us. I'd say that's a successful season as well.
Definitely.
As long as I think as long as we get a good showing in the post-split matches. I mean, I was talking to a couple of boys about it. Like, I've not seen Hibs have a good post-split match. I couldn't tell you that, honestly.
Lennon's first season back.
Lennon's first season was all right. So, you know what I mean? We've been pretty poor in the split. So I'd hope a good showing then. But third place would do me.
Gav?
I'd agree. I think third place is more than doable now, largely thanks to the game today. I think we've improved in January. I don't think Aberdeen have. And I think Livingston will run out of steam as well. And that loss today, I don't think that will be their last one. So third place.
Nice one. I think Livingston should be docked points for their manager consistently saying the word definitely as definitely. So
definitely.
That's my gripe there. You and I don't worry about shameless plugs, by the way. I'll plug you. The Down the Slope podcast is fantastic and a good addition to the Hibs podcast family. I'd encourage everybody to go and tune in and have a listen to it. Where do you see us finishing up?
Going against everything that I just said about Jack Ross, I think third comfortably, and I don't see any reason why we can't try our best to push Celtic. We're 6 points behind with 2 games in hand, but at the end of the day, everyone was shiting himself for Livy and they were further behind Hibs than we are for Celtic. So I try to be, like I say, I've been pretty negative recently, but I try to always be as positive as I can be. Celtic are shite. Like, they will drop points between now and the end of the season, and we've still got to play them Easter Road, so I don't see any reason why. Not saying we will, but I think we will be closer to Celtic at the end of the season than what Aberdeen are to Hibs.
I hope you're right. It's a good shout. Jamie?
Absolutely. I think we'll finish third. I think Celtic will maybe pull away a wee bit. As much as they haven't been playing well, they've just got too much money, too much quality. Not to start pulling away a wee bit. Now I'm not taking away from I'm being pessimistic in any kind of way, but I definitely think third is it should be ours, and the way that we've kind of re-grasped our form, look a wee bit more solid, a wee bit more compact, then I think teams will be worried playing against Hibs home and away. So third for me, and long may it continue.
Nice one. John, I'm not asking you to predict where we'll finish up. I want a prediction for you of whether or not we'll have any more livestock on the podcast. And if we do, well, we're on the risk of Brian getting arrested for it.
I think that seems like 2 questions in one. I can definitely try and get more livestock on. Brian getting arrested, I would say that's odds on.
Odds on. Get your money on it, folks. Andy, how do you see us finishing the season?
Yeah, after the last week, third for sure. I think also the way Jack Ross is managing Kevin Nisbet and Ryan Porteous will help us come the end of the season. He'll get a lot more out of them by playing them this way than just letting them go straight back in the side. And I think that'll be a big benefit to us as we go for third.
Aye, special mention to Kevin Nisbet as well. Came on and had a free kick that was Paco Jabi-esque. It was a right throwback, that, wasn't it? I think if it was time wasting or if it was like forgetting that the rugby was meant to be after the football today. Right, I've just I was about to come to Raymond, but I've just lost him off the screen. So Tracy, you're next up.
No,
Oh no,
I'm
Raymond,
here.
you've gone top right. Everyone moved around there. What happened? This has thrown me.
Don't know. I just.
Hey Raymond,
No,
you
no
you were in.
bother. Listen, I go on.
Tell us how you think we'll finish the season.
I think we've got to say third. We've got to say third. As much as I'd like to say second, I think we've been a little bit optimistic. But third place, keeping Jackson Irvine in the team is going to be key, or getting Newell back. One of the two, because we need that creativity with the strength. That's and the only other thing I wanted to say, did anyone notice, the boy Hoban that was playing for Aberdeen?
Yeah.
When I first noticed him, I thought he looked like a baddie at the Sweeney. But then I looked at it, wasn't he? That wasn't who he was reminding me of. Maybe the boy in Father Ted that sat on the wall with the I Shot JR t-shirt. That's him. Go and Google him. I'm telling you, that's the boy. The boy Hoban is the I Shot JR t-shirt wearing boy from Father Ted.
Well, that's a better lookalike than the John Potter and Johnny Vaughan one that I said. I always think he looks like Johnny Vaughan, and I mentioned it to the missus, and she was like, "No." So you're a little bit better. Charlie, I'm going to give you're about to feature on a new podcast as well called Strong Opinion Hibs.
Aye, mate. My mate Calvin is just about to start that podcast, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes, and I think we'll partner it together. So I'm excited to get started with that.
Aye, looking forward to hearing it. And how do you think we'll finish up the season then?
I'm going to go out a limb and say second.
Yes.
I think with Newell coming back, Scott Allen fit, and the way if Jackson Irvine isn't a dull injury, I think we can push Celtic to the last week, and I think we've got enough quality to beat them to second.
I think that mention of Scott Allen there, in addition to what Raymond was saying about Joe Newell, like if worst case scenario you lose that wee bit of creativity for Jackson Irvine, albeit they're different players. Scott Allen coming in for the cold could be like the prodigal son returning for Hibs.
Imagine finishing second. Imagine it. Imagine hearing the Champions League music. Geese it.
Oh.
I promise I'll go streaking down Leith Walk. COVID.
I'm going to hold you to that. This is recording.
Maybe you're coming with me.
I know.
Of course I am.
Tracy, how do you see us finishing up? You excited about the prospect of second?
Yeah, I was just winding my husband up because obviously he's a Celtic supporter. So I was like, oh, the Hibs are coming to get you. He's like, but we've still got 2 games in hand. I says, but you've got to win them. So, yeah, I'd love to see us finish second. I'd love the Champions League music at Easter Road. But I think either way, I think we'll be packing our bags for Europe. It'll be second or third for us, definitely. And
Hope we're allowed to go.
Oh, COVID better do one.
Aye.
Hope it behave themselves otherwise, because I want to pack my bag and go to Europe.
Leon, how do you see the season panning out?
Well, I don't want to be that guy, but I said we'd finish third at the start of the season. But I'm pretty confident we will. I think we'll finish third. I think we could definitely push Celtic for second. Definitely. I think, like everybody was saying, with the players coming back in, the quality of the players coming back in is a difference. We've not got like squad players who are injured. It's first team starters that could really come and really push the squad on. So I think, why not? Let's go for it. Let's get second. But I think third's there for the taking, no problem, and push for second.
That is an exciting prospect there when you think Newell and Allen, and even like McGuinness, who came on the days. I think he's a really exciting prospect.
McGuinness is going to be quite a big player for Hibs. I think he's bedding in, and they're taking their time on him because he was out for a long time injured.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to ease him back in. But he's looked really good every time he's came on. And I think he could be a big player for us.
I think so. And Kaiser Soze, final word from you this week then. How do you see us doing?
I think a comfortable third. I think with Celtic now, what you've got to look at with Celtic is they realise that they're not winning their 10, they're coveted 10 in a row. So the pressure's come off them a wee bit, and you can see that for how they've played. To the realisation now, they're not going to win a title. Their players are starting to pay. Even Neil Lennon, throughout that squad, there's a relaxation there. They'll find their form, and I think they'll stroll on. I think they'll hit second comfortably as far as I'm concerned. With Hibs, I think Ross has played an absolute blinder. When Nisbet gave him 5 minutes there to go, look, you can come on, pal, but your boots aren't going to get that dirty. I think that's class. And it's a bold move as well by Ross to say, look, you're not just running around this team because you're a top goal scorer. You're going to bide your time. And I think when he does get introduced full time back into the squad after he's pulled his toys back out for the pram, I think he will start shooting goals, and that's why I think we'll finish third comfortably on the Hibs.
Aye. Exciting times. Right, guys, we're out of time. Thanks very much for coming on. It's been a great wee show. We'll be back with Longbangers on Monday night, and then Short Bangers on Thursday after that. So anything that you want to talk about, send us a wee tweet and we'll cover it in the show. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your weekend on the Hibs, and we'll catch you next time.
See you later.
On the Dry County line, I pledged upon. Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey and